What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Faraday Future, ticker is FFIE. I want to give you a good breakdown of some of the data points and just talk on why it is going down today. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 3.55%, a fair amount of volume. So 14.44 million shares being traded within the first 2 hours of the trading day. 71 is the average. So today is going to be a pretty popular day. At the time of doing this video, there is no recent SEC filings, no press releases, so it's just been following the broader market and still kind of going back to this SEC thing. So on the 20th, so last Thursday, there was that definitive 14.8 that was submitted, and I think a lot of people are still very much worried about that. So given the market right now, everything is rallying except those stocks that are having some pending reverse stock split, at least in the future, and or dilution. And unfortunately, Faraday kind of hits both of those check marks because they do have that recent S3, if I remember correctly. I think it's for 300 or 400 million. So of course there's that aspect to it. And then when it comes down to the upcoming shareholder meeting on August the 16th, they have a reverse stock split. So anywhere from a 1-2 to a 1-90 for proposal number 1. So in my opinion, who isn't a financial advisor, of course, I feel what is happening to Faraday is a little bit more of just suppression and just an overreaction, because when it comes down to the whole reverse stock split, yes, it is complete garbage and it does suck if the company is not doing something right. But in Faraday's case, they are actually doing a lot of good things, especially as they move to phase 2. So they're actually doing some things operationally, whereas 9 times out of 10, if a company is doing a reverse stock split, they just don't do anything and they're just kind of constantly diluting. So Faraday's a different case, and I think that right now a lot of people in the market is just grouping Faraday with those kind of crappy stocks. But again, that's just my own interpretation. You also have to factor in when it comes down to them doing this reverse stock split is very advantageous, because if not, then that means they will be getting delisted from the NASDAQ. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ, there is a fair amount of institutions that do hold it because of its inclusion on that. So for instance, BlackRock, Vanguard, a lot of the big names right here, some of which are not necessarily the best, such as State Street. I know that they do short quite a lot from what I've been able to read. And then as far as ETFs, currently there's 23 ETFs that do hold Faraday in their portfolios, and a total of 53.6 million shares, and that's just by the US ETFs. So when it comes down to its inclusion on the NASDAQ, it is very much advantageous. So there might be some people just hating on Faraday right now because they are proposing this. But like I said, I think that Faraday is a different kind of beast other than what it's getting grouped into. But like I said, that's just my own interpretation. Based on this, so this is all the options activity for today. 11,000 in calls being purchased and 10,000 in puts being purchased, like I mentioned in the first 2 hours of the trading day. Based on all of that though, there's roughly around 81% of all that is optimistic, so it's very bullish. So behind the scenes, people do anticipate for it to kind of trend up, and over the last little bit, based on some of the kind of fib levels, so with it being at 27.85 cents, it is currently, I'll give you guys a quick overview, it is currently trading between this S1 and the pivot. So around 26 cents is that next big support that you need to watch for. Vice versa, 29.5 cents is that next big resistance. And as I've mentioned in the past, the spread on these, kind of between any of these pivots, are very vast. So meaning there is going to be a lot of volatility. So a lot more days such as this coming fairly soon, especially like I've mentioned on previous videos. This week is a very big week because on Wednesday, the Feds are going to be making their interest rate decision. On Thursday, there's GDP and PCE on Friday. So definitely a lot of volatility is going to come and go. Just have to be aware of that. And if you do believe in Faraday bigger picture, then take advantage of these discounted prices. If not, then yeah, it's going to be more so just a lot of swing traders and stuff like that. As far as this, so looking at the momentum indicator shows number of retail investors weren't necessarily and aren't getting in today as much as they once were. Looking at stochastic, it is a little bit more of a bear sentiment right now, and it is at 67, so kind of neutral in that regard. So like I said, I do feel it's just the broader market that is trying to suppress Faraday, because you also have to factor in when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I'm not here to advocate for cryptocurrencies by any means, but I use cryptocurrencies as a benchmark just to see if that's going up and down, because that does show people's overall level for risk. And that in general has been going down. So it's kind of matching exactly with Faraday, just it's being grouped as a very risky play, which of course you guys always have to do your own due diligence. Faraday does have a lot of big things coming for it, but at the same time, there could be a lot of things that go wrong for it. So once again, make sure you guys always do your own due diligence. But if things turn out very positive for Faraday, then yeah, the stock price will definitely go up, because as well, this recently came out, I think last week, but a lot of people were under the assumption that there was going to be a very massive recession coming fairly soon. And I think people have been saying that for a while, but based on this, it does say Goldman Sachs cuts the probability of a US recession, at least in the next 12 months. So of course, I think that's a fairly good thing. So they're cutting it down to, I think, a 20% chance versus a previous 25%. So once again, this is definitely something good for Faraday, because based on their price point and their selling of their vehicle and everything like that, definitely you'd need the economy to be rallying, not necessarily kind of contracting. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Give yourself a shout out though. Have you been buying, selling, holding Faraday? What have you been doing with Faraday over the last little bit? And where do you see things going? Do you, for instance, see it maybe by mid-August? Do you see it back in the 40s, 50s? What's your kind of take on all of that? If you are looking at a lot of the calls and the grid based on this, it's kind of showing roughly around within the 50-cent mark by, it looks like September, give or take. There's some kind of optimism around August, but September seems to be very focused on that. So let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think by September it'll be over 50 cents? And obviously that's not counting any potential reverse stock split or anything like that. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, take advantage of promos such as this. It's an amazing promo. It is with Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. It's free to sign up for this account. Plus they offer free level 2 trading and $0 commission. But if you throw $100 at this specific account, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. And plus you also do get a $50 cash reward. So this is an amazing promo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Only up until August 31st, so make sure you guys take advantage of that. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's eventually make a lot of money on Faraday Future.